feel like in the first 5 is when we're gonna push our pace the most, and find great looks and great shots.
They've been a very good team. Defending the 3-point line, but you guys have been very good from the 3-point line. How do you continue that?
I mean, I think especially it starts with kind of Sab and I, because knowing they're switching, then they're going to try and bump out with the guard on me, and there's always going to be that 3 fill behind, or anytime we're able to kind of get down into the paint, specifically from the slots or the free throw line area, triggering the weak side defender gets open for a 3.
You guys were able to limit Fee to 12 shots, which is the fewest she's had since July. Is there anything particular you guys did and continuing that?
Just continuing to put her in a lot of congestion. We're mixing up schemes based on personnel, knowing where she wants to go, making it a little bit difficult, and then the players that we can help off of. Just continuing to show her a lot of bodies, and any shot she gets, hopefully it's a tough one.
What's she like playing in front of huge crowds that are rooting against you?
Yeah, I think I like it a lot. I think that this is, like, I'll start by saying Barclays is like no other. Of course, when you have fans supporting you, it's amazing, but you kind of play for the moments when everyone's cheering against you, when you're the one on the other side of things, and really just embracing that and knowing that tonight's going to be hard from start to finish. We're going to have our little cheering squad, and hopefully we'll hear them a few times, but it's us versus everyone else here.
Stewart, how much does it feel like these finals are, in a lot of ways, an advertisement for Unrivaled?
Mm-hmm.
Have you talked to Fee just about how perfectly this is kind of lined up? Or
Nope.
is that after season?
Yeah. No, Fee and I have not talked about Unrivaled since the finals have started, and we'll talk about it after. But I think that it's great for us to continue to make sure that we build momentum. You know, the league is finishing this week, which is crazy to say, but knowing that we have another league starting in January where people will be able to continue to follow W players.
And just related to your performance here, you know, obviously defensively a huge game too, but I think it's fair to say there hasn't been sort of a vintage offensive explosion the kind we know you're capable of. Is there a certain comfort in knowing that that's still in the tank?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's definitely the comfort in knowing that, you know, I haven't gotten into my best rhythm offensively, and knowing that that's going to come, and just continuing to be confident in the shots that I'm getting, the looks that I'm getting. I think that's in game 2, especially knowing that, you know, I'm drawing multiple defenders and finding the open teammate, and if that's how they want to play, then I'll continue to do that.
Stewie, we were asking some of the Minnesota players, it's like all basketball all the time right now. What do you do when you need to turn your brain off?
I mean, mine is easy. I have kids.
But what if they're like asleep?
Yeah. We hope they take naps. But, otherwise, I've been in my room like playing cards with Marta, my friend Kalina, who I went to UConn with. Just stuff like that, or you know, different type of friendly, fun games. But honestly, it's not that much free time right now.
Breanna, you just said the season will be over this week. How do you put into context everything that's happened this season? It's been a landmark season.
Yeah.
With TV ratings, with everything else. Just in your perspective, not just as a Liberty player, but as a women's basketball player.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that this season has probably been what everyone could have hoped for. And, you know, we didn't know if we would get to the levels that we're getting to, but we are. You know, the ratings in the regular season, preseason, and now postseason, it seems like every night we're kind of breaking the records, and that's what's amazing to see. Having sold out crowds, you know, hopefully I heard there's going to be 18,000 here today. People want to watch women's sports, and specifically they want to be a part of the WNBA, and this is what we've all been waiting for a long time, and I'm just continuing to kind of take advantage of the moment.
Is there any message to be said at this point, or is it just like, you know, we've been through it all, let's just get on the court?
I mean, we've kind of been through all these situations, but not letting them feel comfortable. You know, Minnie left New York happy that they won one game because they have 2 at home, and now it's, you know, not being comfortable with where we are, knowing that our backs are still against the wall, and putting that pressure on earlier because, you know, regardless, like we just talked about, the season's over after this week. Like putting it all on the line, shoot around in games, everything you've got, you gotta leave on the floor.
Stewie, you talk about liking hostile environments. Why? Because it's the ultimate test inside, or what is it you like about it?
I don't know. I feel like, you know, sometimes when everyone's cheering against you, that's what motivates you even more. And just embracing the loud, embracing the hard, like we've talked about. There's going to be moments where we're not going to be able to hear each other, like continuing to huddle, stay together, and just fighting through and playing through the adversity.
Including college, what is the most hostile place you've ever played?
I don't know. You guys got to send me these questions early.
I was working on that one, though.
Let's see.
What about at the Olympics? That's
Yeah,
a lot
I
of people
mean,
that
and
didn't
that
like
France and France was kind of was definitely crazy. I mean, when we go, well, even just in the last series, like at Vegas, when I was in college, playing at Baylor, at South Carolina, like those top teams, it's never easy, and I'm sure, you know, it's going to be a memorable 2-game series as well.
Stewie, in terms of the Lynx, Courtney Williams is saying explicitly our goal out loud not to go back to New York.
Yeah.
That being said, within the team, our goal is clearly getting back to New York, or is the goal to win it here?
No, our goal is to not go back to New York, too. Want to go ahead?
You got to go back regardless.
Yeah. We're going to go back happy.
I asked Coach Reeve this. I said, have you even thought about having won a gold medal? Which is a huge accomplishment, and I assume you're kind of the same way. I know you've won others before,
Yeah.
but does that accomplishment almost do you wait until after the season so you even appreciate what else you did this year?
I think honestly, yeah, especially just the way the turnaround was after winning. Like, my gold medal is still like on my dresser, and it's kind of like, all right, let me put it here, and I'll figure it out later. But there's a lot that's been done this year, and you know, just continuing to keep going.
Are all the awards just still in your parents' basement? Is that sort of like you have how many Player of the Months now? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously gold medal is at the highest tier, but what do you do with like the Player of the Month awards?
The Player of the Month, you don't get anything.
No, I thought it was like Player of the Week. It was nothing. Player of the Month. There's a certificate. No, not even Player of the Month.
I don't know. That's not a me question.
I'll inquire.
I'll take one. Hi, Breanna. In Game 2, I felt like you guys were able to get downhill
Yeah.
a little bit more
Yeah.
as compared to Game 1. How do you think you guys will be able to sort of like maintain that process you had into tonight's game?
Continuing to have the same mindset and mentality, like getting into the paint, specifically out of transition when there's a little bit of defensive lapses, hopefully on Minnie's part, and into out, like seeing the rotation, seeing if they're gonna congest as heavy as they did in Game 1 or go back out a little bit more than in Game 2.
Yeah, throughout the year, you guys led in rebounding, and I think you guys lead in playoff rebounding as well, too. How do you think that success on the glass sort of helps you control the tempo?
I think we control the tempo with the boards because we are able to dictate, you know, how many shots Minnie gets, how many opportunities we get on the offensive end, and knowing that the size that we have, especially with our, you know, JJ and I, but also the big wings, more often than not, it's a height advantage.
When you just reflect on where you were the very day of the WNBA draft in 2016 and the goals that you put forward for yourself, how much do you feel like the league has gotten to a place where you want it to get to? Not that this is it for it, but, you know, 8 years on somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we've only grown tremendously just from obviously like our eyes and a viewership perspective, but you think about like when I started, the draft was at Mohegan Sun, you know, now it's in New York City. Now there's like more and more fans kind of engaged in it. I had roommates, you know, when in my rookie contract. So everything is just getting bigger and better.
You had a roommate on draft night. I mean, it was JJ, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come a long way.
Yeah.
Are there ways you feel like you've taken advantage of living in New York this year versus last year? Are there fun things you've explored, fun things you've done, like just being in the city?
Yeah, just being a little bit more comfortable, like knowing like, our dinner spots, knowing where we want to go, like going to more plays, trying to find a happy balance of like obviously being on for the season, but how can I also enjoy where I am and be in the moment a little bit. But yeah, I mean, this year's been crazy. I feel like I say that every year. They're all crazy.
What plays have you seen?
I went to Hell's Kitchen, which was incredible. I went to Aladdin recently, which was also great. Genie, he did a great job.
We were just given the All-W team list.
Oh, can I see?
We can't. It's not public till later this afternoon.
We have social media. Let's enjoy it.
So we can't tweet it. I don't know if we're breaking news about where you stand. Did anyone ask you about this yet?
No.
No.
You're not surprising me. I already know.
Well, I was going to say, how does it feel to get 2 second place votes for a second team?
Oh, I don't know the voting situation. 2 second place votes?
Two second team votes.
Feels
I
good.
guess if I'm not surprising you on the first team,
Yeah.
then how's it feel to make second team votes?
It feels great to get 2 second place votes on the second team. Listen, everybody, like, to each his own, no? Right?
How do you?
Courtney before was saying that they're marching.
Same.
Same thought.
Same. Right now, the series is tied. I think that we're happy to get it back 1-1, and now it's best of 3. No, first and 2 wins, and we're focused 1 game at a time. And I think that's really it. Just knowing the total numbers that we have to get to have the series be done.
Like you said before about like hostile crowds, I don't remember many in college that there wasn't a huge new attention on the road.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember your first hostile crowd, whether it was in pros or overseas? Felt like, okay, we found these guys.
Probably in the pros, like it was like Phoenix. I mean, many, because that was my like rookie years when they were. They had Maya, Way, Simone, and Sil. LA. I mean, it's hard to pick out.
But in college, you didn't.
I don't know. I was like South Carolina, but I'm like I can't really remember. They were just coming up, and we were doing our thing.
Breanna, there's a fairly good chance that Paige will be the #1 pick. She'd be the first #1 from UConn since you.
Yeah.
What sort of would you tell her about trying to enjoy, if this is her last year, which she says it's going to be, about enjoying that last year, but then knowing you're going to have to hit the ground like with, you lived it. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think my advice for Paige would just be to enjoy every moment of like her senior year. I think that, especially in hindsight, there is nothing like college and the roommate situation and the friendships and the relationships. So you're never gonna get that back. So really, just having a lot of fun with it. And then at the same time, I feel like especially my senior year, like CD and Coach Oriema were actively trying to get me ready for the pros. Like this is what's gonna work here. This is how the strength, the physicality, like things that are happening in college aren't gonna directly correlate. And how can I change them? So I'm sure they're gonna be. Doing the same thing.
What do you, and obviously very different positions you two play, but what do you love about her game based on everything you know about what it takes to be a guard at this young?
Yeah, I think what I love about Paige's game is just her awareness. I think, understanding how to really read the ball screens, and that's going to be the biggest thing is, when you come from college to pros, it's like the ball screen coverages, when they're in a drop, what's she going to do? When they're hedging, is she going to split it and find, the weak side person? And just seeing that really come into play, because I think that, in college, you don't always get the really enhanced defensive schemes.
Going back to this piece of paper, this is your 7th All-NBA team, WNBA team. Is this something that you work towards? Do you care about this? What does it mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like what I work towards is to be the best and to put the best on the court at all times. So I think that it is something that I appreciate for sure. But right now we're trying to do other things, bigger things.
Thank you.
3, 2. I know. Who gave me my second?